really bad. Okay, get your answer then.
I'm watching Springwatch and woodpeckers outside my window. That's it, excellent.
We do our very best to make sure that we can include most of the flora and fauna that we can get our hands on. Up until week 3, I'm afraid we haven't done any plants, and I thought this was a rather serious oversight. So yesterday morning, I headed down to the local National Nature Reserve called Innisflass, just down on the coast. Another day out at the seaside. But I've come here for an illicit rendezvous with some glamorous hustlers. Orchids are some of my favourite flowers, and this is the best place in West Wales to see them. Look at this! Southern marsh orchid, the leopard marsh variety, defined by these lovely little leopard spots on the leaves here. But it's a robust, thick, full, brightly coloured flowering spike. It's designed to attract bumblebees, and they come and cross-pollinate this species. But it's a con. They're drawn here by the colour and the form of these flowers, but when they get here and they stick their mouth parts down into the flowers, there's no nectar there at all. It's a rip-off from the insect's point of view, but they can't resist it. Damn deceitful. But you know, there's an even more devious flower here. I must prostrate myself before great beauty. Look at this. So
Springwatch is on, and there's a woodpecker and a partridge and numerous other little birds outside my window. Interesting evening.
Specific species of bee to pollinate it. How does it do it? Well, firstly, this part of it here, the petal we call the labellum, has formed to look exactly like the body of a female bee. And then it's got this shiny bit here we call the speculum. That, we think, is meant to represent the shiny wings of the insect. But how does it get the males to arrive there? Well, unbelievably, it releases a cocktail of chemicals from the edge of the lip here, which exactly mimic those released by virgin female bees. So when the males emerge first, which they do, they throng to these flowers. And it gets them so excited that they practice what we call pseudo-copulation. They try and copulate with the plant. Only this particular species is practicing a double deceit. It's not only mimicking an insect, it's equally not using the insects, because this is a self-pollinated. It's the only one of the 250 species in Europe which is self-pollinated. Remarkable science. But also there's an intrinsic romance for me here, because the plant is producing a chemical exactly the same as an animal. It's a triumph of evolution. Absolute triumph. Makes you think, doesn't it? What, Kate? What are you doing? Pseudo-copulation. Idiot. You might not have seen enough orchids, so in a homage to Bob Dylan, as I move over here, I'm going to be dropping these lovely pictures of these orchids, because we have very little time to see any more of these plants, because unfortunately, well, from my point of view, we have to go down to Essex and to Liz. Any more badger news down there, Liz?
Chris, I'm not even going to tease you on this one. Let's just get it over with. Let's break the curse of the Springwatch badger once and for all. Day 2. We've been in the hive for at least an hour, and sure enough, still no badgers. The sun was setting. Was our luck running out? I thought so, but then, in the nick of time... I've got to say, your sound we've set up is really cool, because you do see another aspect of them here that you don't usually see. It's a bit strange, and it's really lovely to watch. Think you might get a style?
You may well do. Yeah. It's a different one. It's a different one. They obviously have crunchy peanut butter. His head was going like this. I was trying to follow the sweater down. The most adorable thing I've ever seen. We have a result. That is it. There's a look, isn't it?
We had done it, but it wasn't quite over. There was one last treat in store, a badger cub.
How old is that cub?
Well, Laura's been born in February, so I'm just going to go 4 weeks
4 months old. Is that around the age that they start venturing out of the sets with their parents?
They'll come out of the set entrance at a younger age, but venturing a distance away from the set. I never see them until the beginning of June.
So is that the first time you see the cubs out here?
This is the first time the cubs have been out this year, I'm pretty sure of that.
What can I say? Peanut butter sandwich experiment was a bit of a disaster. Not only because it was highly unscientific, but because the highest one got knocked over. There's half of one remaining, there's one on the ground. But I've got to see 3 badgers, including a cub, and that is a result.
Unbelievable stuff, wasn't it? Now, just so you know, Phil only very occasionally feeds peanut butter sandwiches to the badgers. For the most part, they forage for earthworms in the marshlands that surround this site. There are badger tracks everywhere out there. But you know what? The question still remains, how high can a badger reach? Well, our cameraman Ian obliged. He went back out the following night and got us one last shot. Okay, here we go. Here comes our badger. He's spotted our peanut butter sandwich and he reaches for it. Now, this might look a little bit unusual, but it's not an unusual behavior for badgers. They do reach for berries high up on bushes, the odd snail that's gone up a tree trunk. They're very agile animals, in fact. It's just that we don't see this very often when we do spot them on the odd occasion. Look at that, look at that. Oh, nearly pulled over on his backside. Now, let's just rewind here for a second because this gives us the perfect opportunity to measure how high a badger can reach. There he goes, reach number 1, not too shabby. Reach number 2, ooh, not quite as high, but there, that's the one. That's the one we're going to measure. Now, the average male badger measures around about 75 centimetres in length. Add the hind legs, another 15 centimetres. Throw in a couple of centimetres for the claw. You got yourself reaching length of around about 92 centimetres. Not too bad at all. But you know what else? Badgers are not stupid. After a couple of attempts, this fella decides, there he goes, he's going to go for another sandwich. Of course, there are lower sandwiches all along this wire, and he definitely can smell them out. Badgers can smell 600 times better than us humans. Takes a bite out of that one, moves on to an even lower one. Here he comes. How adorable is that now? Is he going to bite it? Is he going to take a swipe? Come on, you can do it. Do you know what? He's getting lazy. He's moving to the absolute lowest sandwich on our wire, and now it's swinging around him. He keeps his eye on it. The paws are coming out. He takes a swipe. He takes a chunk. Come on, you can do it. You can get that sandwich. He follows it. He follows it, and he swipes at it. Is that going to do it? That's going to do it. There you go. Sandwich. Mission accomplished. And off he goes. You see, Phil's inventive way of getting the badgers to do unusual stuff that we actually don't see very often, is brilliant. We get to see another aspect of these fantastic animals. Now, just one last thing from the Springwatch Adventure team. The lovely Richard Taylor-Jones went to explore another unusual place to find wildlife. Not a landfill site, but a golf course. Take a look at this.
Golf courses cover more of the UK than all of the RSPB's nature reserves put together. So wouldn't it be great if they were all natural enough for nature? But with their pesticide green fairways, manicured greens and equally manicured players, it's easy to assume golf courses are of little use to wildlife. came true, I'd come to Royal Sandthorpe's and Royal St George's, my local courses on the Kent coast.
Morning. Morning. See much about this morning? Few rabbits and that, and the shell ducks are about somewhere. They're normally in the rabbit holes. I've got one trying to find some skylarks as well this morning. The skylarks, yes, over there. You might be lucky.
Thank you.
Okay, alright, thank you.
Gosh, literally, a minute ago, nothing. And then suddenly, the air is just alive with skylark singing. Oh. Which is lovely really, because skylarks, as we all know today, have really struggled over the last few decades. Their numbers have crashed. Oh, there's one. Little bird against a white background doesn't matter when you've got a song like that. This is a territorial dispute. Saying this is my patch, go back to your patch. Golf courses often get blamed for ripping up good habitat, and yet clearly here this is good skylark habitat. And I think the reason for that is because you've got these sort of rough areas where the birds like to nest in, next to the very short fairways and greens, which are ideal sort of skylark landing pads really. It's kind of accidental nature. The golf course and the people that run it didn't plan to have skylarks here. They didn't plan to create skylark runways and landing pads, but they have, and the result is we've got skylarks everywhere. Oh, there's a wheat here. There's a wheat here. Sorry, got distracted by another bird. There we go, the female hen harrier. Well, no, I have to say, I was not expecting to see a hen harrier on the golf course. Gosh. And then there's a skylark taking off right next to me. This is getting really quite good. I sound surprised to all this wildlife, but I shouldn't be. These courses are amongst the best in Britain for nature, classified as European Special Areas of Conservation. And the man whose job it is to look after the wildlife here is clear why.